Support for this show, Politics Done Right, comes from politicsdoneright.com, publishers of How to Make America Utopia, Take Away the Economy from Those Who Rigged It, As I See It, Class Warfare, The Only Resort to Right-Wing Doom, It's Worth It, How to Talk to Your Right-Wing Relatives, Friends, and Neighbors, and other books written by Egberto, Willies. Welcome to Politics Done Right. My name is Egberto, Willies, your host. Good morning, Houston. Good morning, Harris County. Good morning to the great state of Texas. And of course, good morning to the United States of America. Good morning to the entire world via the magic of the internet, formerly known as ARPANET, now controlled by the billionaires, but something that we intend to take back as we enlighten ourselves to realize that the current economic structure is nothing but a facade to keep a few elevated and the rest of us as indentured servants or on the path to indentured servitude. Anyhow, before we get busy, let's go ahead and say buenos dias a los genios en el estudio. Good morning to the geniuses in the studio. How are my brothers doing?
Well, I'm doing good today. It's only one today. One birthday boy today.
Today's your birthday. Happy.
Yeah, Elvis is too.
Wait. It's your birthday today, right?
Yes.
Okay, well, we got. Well, folks, let's wait. Happy birthday to Jack. Happy birthday to Jack. Happy birthday to the best engineer in the world. Happy birthday to Jack. Well,
Thank
Jack,
you.
I hope you have a good one, my dear brother. Anyway, what's
starting off pretty good. I got sang to already this morning.
There you go, man. Talk to me.
You sing better than I do.
I don't know about that, but what's up, man?
Okay, one thing. This Sunday, the 12th, at Under the Volcano, we're going to have blues brunch out there at 2349 Bissonnette from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. with Clint Broussard. So that's something that's going on this coming Sunday.
Yay.
If you want to get out and have you a biscuit and a drink and listen to Clint.
Can I have some gravy on the biscuit?
Yes, you can.
All right, then it's okay. Then it's okay. Anyway, what's the word of the day, my brother?
Well, it kind of goes with yours. Well, there goes Trump's promise to end the forever wars as he threatens to use war powers to seize Greenland and the Panama Canal. I believe he told a fib just to get elected. Who would have thought that? His assistant, Elon Musk, wants to turn the world over to the neo-fascists. I was right in saying the right means to rule, not govern. America, you have two megalomaniacs at the helm. Look out for icebergs.
I love that. Two megalomaniacs. Look out for icebergs. You nailed it, my brother. You nailed it. Anyway, good morning, everybody. We are going to have a great show for you today. Do remember that the telephone number is 713-526-5738. Again, that number is 713-526-5738. Look, we got a lot to cover, included what our brother had to speak about. Brother Jack had to talk about Elon Musk and Medicaid and what socials and what Trump promised, etc. But before we get started on that, and I didn't have this on the note that the newsletter this morning, but before I get started, I want to point out something. Yesterday, we all know that right now, Elon Musk has changed the game in a lot of ways. Elon Musk what he has done is went ahead and turned Twitter into the cesspool that it is, the Nazi machine that it is. But, there was still Facebook, which has its problems, but at least we thought it was okay. Well, yesterday, Mark Zuckerberg capitulated to Donald Trump, and he removed all fact-checking from Facebook, and now he has user notes, is what they call them, And of course, user notes can be abused because what it means is what the right wing can do is pay a whole bunch of people to go ahead and downgrade your post that may have some factual information, factual news. They can downgrade your factual news and put a whole lot of noise on it to slow it down or stop it altogether, and get those same people to uplift others. You can say, well, the left could do that as well, but that just isn't the modus operandi of the left, of progressive, of truth tellers. That just isn't the modus operandi. So the fact checking for Facebook is gone. And when Trump was asked yesterday in his news conference, do you think that Mark Zuckerberg changes policy because of what you said or because of you? And then with a smug face, Trump said, yep, it's because, more than likely, it's because of me. You know, Zuckerberg begged for an interview at Mar-a-Lago with Trump. Trump had dinner with him. And now you can pretty much say Trump is in control of Facebook. And what that means by removing the fact checks, just like Trump lied to you to get into office by telling you all the things that he's going to do, which were lies, and we're going to start proving this over the days that we're going to be talking about these different issues. We're going to start proving to you that you better have remorse early. So while you can't control Trump as the executive, as the executor, you do have control of your Congress people who you can force to let them know Trump can't be president again, but they can run again. And if they know that supporting his thievery will put them in clear and present danger, your vote, you'll start to see matters again. But anyway, the cesspool that Facebook will become will simply ensure that Trump's and his minions can lie to the uninformed unabatedly from Facebook by creating the false realities that they've already created to many Americans. But now they have the unabated ability to do it to a whole lot more because the fact checks are gone. Welcome to oligarchy. Welcome to oligarchy. When you have the president-elect say, yes, Zuckerberg changed his policies because I am in power now, and I tell these private sector companies what to do. And they oblige. The oligarchy is here. The oligarchy is something that we better be careful of. The oligarchy is something, we talk about it all the time. And sometimes people hear us talk about it and they don't believe it. They just think, it really can't be that way. Well, it is here. Elon Musk shows that it's here. You see what Elon Musk is doing across the world. We're going to talk about that later as well. But folks, this is real. And eventually it's going to get old saying, I told you so, or we told you so. That what we did, we pointed out strictly that this man was a clear and present danger, and it has started, and it is time for all of us to know. Let me just say this. I guarantee you over these next 4 years, well, I always tell the truth, but let me tell you, the truth is going to be in lesser and lesser supply because a lot of folks doing what I do, a lot of folks are going to throw their hands up in the air and say, well, if the American people don't want to listen to the truth, if the American people want to be willfully ignorant, if the American people want to be gullible, if the American people really don't give a damn about reality, maybe I should go ahead and just join the club. Join the club Join the media club that is capitulating to the oligarchs and capitulating to those who lie, and just become a part of the party and get paid. And get paid. As I've mentioned before, I am a political activist first, a progressive activist journalist. And it hasn't happened in a while, I think, because the reality is out now. But several times, before our channels on the internet got severely throttled, we got emails suggesting that we change formats to a right-wing format, that suggesting that it would be lucrative. I gotta get my tonality right. It would be lucrative. Just change. Hey, there are not a whole lot of right wingers who look like you. You should join the club. You could make a lot of money doing this. And we have people who would fund this kind of a stuff. It's about values or money. Values or money. I chose values. But a lot of people doing what we do here, and I've had conversations with some, and there's one specific person who has 4 times the followers that I have, that while, I've interviewed him a couple of times, and he accepted the deal. And now he's doing very well being a part of the machine that's lying to you. The reason I'm saying this is I'm saying, wake up. Wake up. I have one call. I better take the call before I go into the rest of my narrative. Randy's on the line. How you doing, Randy?
Hello?
Yes, you're on, Randy.
Egberto.
How are you doing, my brother? Talk to me.
All right. I met you first, I think, at a black technology thing where a guy named Khalil was giving a presentation.
Okay. Talk to me.
And I like your energy. I'm getting some energy from you. And I love the idea that we just, we're not going to give up. We're just going to keep on going. That it doesn't matter who's in the White House. The shrimp's going to taste just as good no matter what they call the Gulf.
I'm glad that you said that, Randy, because that's what I want to impart to everybody that's listening. I ain't giving up. You shouldn't give up. And we shouldn't stop pressing. One of the things I wanted to start is you're going to see more people in the media domain do just that. Give up because it's easier. That just means we have to work harder. And you know what? I've got it, baby. That's what we're going to do. Because, go ahead.
And you know what? This thing of the money or value, that started a long time ago with Tom DeLay.
Mm-hmm.
The churches. Yeah, I'm worse than a Democrat.
What do you mean?
I'm worse than an independent. I'm a Christian.
There you go. There you go. And you know what is so interesting about you saying you're a Christian? All the values that Jesus represents is completely anathema to what the right and conservatives are doing right now. If you compare what they're doing to what Jesus says, it is anathema. It is completely, they cannot be merged. And the only thing that has given Christians, those Christians that are following the Trump domain, give it some kind of a solace, is that their pastors have been co-opted. their pastors have been co-opted. And since the pastors lead the flock, they believe, well, if my pastor says this, it must be okay by God. And they're taking them over a cliff. Continue, Randy.
Yeah, no, sir. I'm licensed as a Baptist preacher, Southern Baptist, but we've gone off. So I can't find a local church where I can go and be with. So the things, I don't know your values as in a religious sense. I just know that I see your energy and I see what you're saying, and I know what you're saying is right. And
well, let me say this, Randy. You just said you don't know my religious stance. I am a humanist. I'm not very religious, but I do believe in humanity. I do believe in values. But my wife is a deacon at a church. You talk about values and wanting to find the church. She's in a church in Humble called the Luke. Consider having an attendance out there, because those values that we talk about, humanity and really caring about people, you can actually find it at her church. And it's a welcoming church. It's the Luke in Humble, Texas. All right.
I live in the near north side, and I'm old, but I may get out to Humble someday.
Great. Thank you, my brother. And it was a pleasure speaking to you, Randy, and thank you for your kind words. All right.
Thank you.
Take care, my brother. Let's go to Gonzalo. Gonzalo, come on in, my brother.
Hey, good morning, Egberto. Happy New Year. How are you?
Happy New Year. This is the first time I'm hearing from you today, my dear brother. Talk to me.
Yeah, I have been away for a while because I have other business to take care during this hour, but I'm back. And
well,
I'm glad that you mentioned some things. Some I totally agree with you. Some I disagree. I'm going to start with the one that I disagree. You said that we need to work harder. And I would say we need to work smarter, not harder, because the reason that the ones that work not so hard are the winners. And Elon, there you go. We have Elon Musk there. So I don't think he works that hard, but he works really smart. And, I have some friends who are Trumpists who vote for Trump, and they are already regretting voting for Trump because they say, who's the president? Okay, it's Elon, it's not Trump. Because for obvious reasons, he's going to be behind the scene doing whatever he and the other people behind the scene decide. And Trump will be Trump always, like just posting things in the social media, so-called X. We're going to take Canada and all those BS things that are the ones that people listen on the social media. So the positive thing, we keep on hearing. We would love to keep hearing from you. This is Radio Made, public radio, and it's a mandate by the government to have these sources of information which are not biased, not controlled by who. And thank you for that.
Well, look, Gonzalo, thank you for your words. I want to just say one thing about the working smarter versus harder. First of all, you are right that we must work smartly. And so I agree with you 100%. But I disagree with you. I must work harder as well. You brought up about Musk working, being a smart worker. I don't consider what Musk does or do whatever Musk does anything smart. I consider it parasitic, not smart. It still offends me when I hear somebody say, my money works for me. Your money cannot work for you. If your money is working for you, there's somebody else doing the work for you to have that money appreciate. So, I mean, I think it is
Well,
important
that's
for.
another.
Go ahead.
That's another biased opinion because if you tell one of my students what does it mean to work smarter and not harder, is just put the money in investment or do something funny while others work for you. So that's I mean, it's not.
No, don't misunderstand what I'm saying. Don't
misunderstand meaning of the work harder, because nobody at that age think. Because when I say work harder, for me, the image that comes to my mind is a poor peasant working hard to grow crops and survive. That's for me the definition of working hard. But unfortunately, that definition has changed through the years, and you know what that means. You know what I mean.
Yes. Now, the thing about it is what I'm trying to promote as well is the value of hard work. I mean, let me give an example. I used it several times. I put a farmer, a peasant in your, or whatever you want to call that person, the person closest to the land. I put him on a deserted island with a stockbroker and leave them at their own devices. The stockbroker, because he knows nothing about the land or growing or self-sustenance, will die, while the farmer would survive. Who has more value? Who has worked smarter? What I'm saying is we have designed our economic system for others to take advantage of others. That's all I'm trying to put out there. And what I want to do is make all work valuable, because we all need different types of work, and one type of work shouldn't supersede. Look, if you work hard, you should benefit from your spoils, but also we shouldn't have, when you talk about the peasant versus the broker, a broker is not more valuable than that peasant who grows the food that the broker survives on. So it is a certain balance that I am looking for, that we should be looking for as a humane society. Anything else, my dear brother Gonzalo?
Another example to work harder. To me, it's you, Jack, and the people who work voluntarily to make this happen. If Amen. I tell that one of my students, they say, "Are they crazy or what?"
Gonzalo, please tell them that we're crazy. Tell them we're crazy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I listen to you guys,
brother. But look, Gonzalo, it's a pleasure speaking to you.
And all right,
thank you, brother. Have a great day. All right, brother Bart is on the line. Come on in, Bart.
Yes, sir. Good morning. There was a caller earlier in this week that was a real dummy that was bashing Elon Musk. And I don't particularly like Elon Musk. I don't trust him. But you guys were saying he never accomplished anything. And I wanted to say, have you ever heard of Tesla or SpaceX or Starlink or Twitter?
Yes, can I stop you right there? I want to stop you right there. I want to stop you right there, because I get your point. You get your point that he's run those 4 companies, right? And you're so right. He's run all 4 of those companies. And I stand completely by what I've said. He is, in fact, have you ever heard the word parasite? Do you know what the definition of a parasite is? All of those companies were companies whose technologies and everything else came from elsewhere, mostly the government. Do you know who funds most of his electric cars? Government regulations. His electric cars became successful when they became offsets to Detroit not making cleaner cars. His Starlink becomes successful because of technology we developed in the space station that he had nothing to do with in the inception of Starlink. When it comes to SpaceX, he's dependent on the technologies we all put together. And by the way, I worked for NASA for quite a few times and developed some of that technology as well. So no, again, you are proving my point. Musk is a parasite. Continue, my dear brother.
Well, one thing he did do right was he bought Twitter, and I will credit that with allowing free speech and actually possibly saving the United States.
Okay, and let's stop you right there. As far as free speech, okay, stop for a second. Free speech, no, because when I put certain things on Twitter, it gets throttled down or removed. What he did is he justified right-wing speech and hate speech. Let's get our terminology clear. Anything else, Bard? Because I want to get into my prose. So let me have your last statement.
Well, even if he is running the presidency, he's better than Joe Biden and whoever is running him, because Joe Biden.
Okay, let me remind you of certain. You're going to hear certain things that happen under the Biden administration right now, and what he wanted to do. So we will be able to see if what you're saying is actually fact-based or just based on your own prejudices and ideological beliefs. So thank you so kindly, Bard. And now I'm going to start with what Donald Trump promised and what you're actually going to get. Here's the deal, folks. Today's topics, the title of the show is GOP put in Medicaid at risk, CFPB bans medical debt from credit reports, and Trump threatens Panama, my country, the country I was born in, the country I'm from, the country of my heritage. Okay. We'll start with the attack on Medicaid. Republican proposals to impose a person cap on federal Medicaid funding or turn the government health insurance program for lower income Americans into a block grant would leave millions of people without coverage or care, according to analysis published Tuesday. All right. Remember, what Donald Trump is attempting to do is he wants a big omnibus reconciliation bill. In English, what that means is he wants a bill ready to sign as soon as possible that has all the things that he wants to do right away before we get a chance to analyze what these things would do. Well, of course, we have groups that are looking at what the formulation of these bills are going to look like. And Medicaid is one of the number ones that they're thinking about cutting. Right now, Medicaid spends about $800-something billion a year to take care of the sick. So what is he planning on doing? The Center on Budget and Policy Priorities examined GOP policy proposals, including the per capita funding cap and making Medicaid a block grant, and found that such policies would dramatically change Medicaid's funding structure, deeply cut federal funding, and shift costs and financial risks to states. Who does that affect the most? Sick people, poor people. Where do most of our sick and poor people live? Red states. So who is Trump? Again, because red states depend more on the federal government. Red states are takers from the federal government. These states that claim they're low tax states and that they're great states, they are the beggar states. And where do most of the federal government cuts are going to come from? Programs that they depend on. So who is it going to hurt? The people who voted for Trump. So here we go. Faced with a large and growing reduction in federal funding, states would cut eligibility and benefits, leaving millions of people without health coverage and access to needed care. According to the analysis, many of those losing Medicaid coverage would be left unable to afford life-saving medications, treatment to manage chronic conditions like cardiovascular disease and liver disease, and care for acute illnesses. People with cancer would be diagnosed at early stages, at later stages, and face a higher likelihood of death, and families would have more medical debt and less financial security. A large body of research shows that Medicaid improves health outcomes, prevents premature deaths, and reduces medical debt and the likelihood of catastrophic medical costs. Those are facts. Now, it's also a fact that red states, Louisiana, Mississippi, all these states, Texas, they have poorer health outcomes. Their folks are sicker and their folks are poorer than those blue states. So most of this cut, when we cut Medicaid, etc., will be coming from our MAGA brothers and sisters who most, or if not a whole lot of them in Appalachia and other places, depend on these government services, depend on this to stay healthy, to not completely lose who they are. And what's the first thing that Trump and his minions are talking about? Cutting these programs. Why does he want it? Why does he want it in this omnibus reconciliation bill right away so that it goes through? Trump has nothing to lose when he offered the big tax cuts to his billionaire friends, to the corporations, when he offers all the money that Musk is going to get. Musk invested $250 million to get Trump elected, and Musk is have already made over $100 billion after Trump has been elected. For, according to Gonzalo, working smarter, according to Egberto, being parasitic. But again, I want you all to realize, I said, you better get remorseful early. All of you who voted for Donald Trump better join up with those who didn't and become remorseful really quickly. Because if you don't get to your Congress people quickly, if you don't let them know that you are following what's occurring quickly, then I guarantee you're going to feel the pain. Block grants to states. Let me give an example. People get sick and populations increase. They intend to give a block grant because they can say, give them and forget it. Right now, as it works, the federal government pays 70% of Medicaid costs on a per person basis. If the bill is XYZ, Medicaid pay whatever portion they need to pay of that bill on a per person basis. Because we don't know who is going to get sick and we don't know how much it's going to cost each individual sick person. But right now we treat it as the health care of all the people in the country. That's how we handle it, the humane way. But now they are thinking about two options. Either give the states a block grant, give you the money, forget it. You try to figure out how you're going to spend that money, whether you're going to spend it on healthcare or not. You just take that money and that's it. That's what we do. You take that money and it's over. But the other option is to give the people a cap on a per person basis. So if you submit 10 people, each of those people that you submit get X amount of dollars. And that's it. Whether you got cancer or a cold, you get the same. And why are they doing this? That they're not doing this because the health system in America has changed. They're doing this because in order to give these tax cuts to these billionaires, to the wealthy, like Trump promised them. We have videos showing Donald Trump saying, you're going to do a lot better under me. That's why Zuckerberg are sucking up to them. That's why the media is sucking up to him. He's saying, okay, where do we get this money from? We take it away from the poor. We take it away from the middle class. They are expendable. Of course, the rich aren't that smart because if we continue to take from the middle class and the poor, eventually the rich can't stay rich because there's nobody to sustain them. But they're not the smartest cats on the market. They're smart in capitalism, but that's where it ends. So again, you better start being remorseful. The analysis comes as Republicans who control both houses of Congress, and starting on January 20th, the White House, as President-elect Donald Trump takes office, pursue a massive tax cut. that would be funded in part by cutting social programs, including Medicaid. GOP lawmakers are also considering work requirements for Medicaid recipients in order to help pay for the tax cut, which critics argue would primarily benefit the rich people and corporations. So you've got lung cancer, but you are ambulatory. Go to work. Go to work. Don't go into a state that makes your body more recoverable. Nah. You're just a means of production. You're just a cog, a widget. You're sick, you don't get a chance to convalesce. Get to work. Get to work. Do you see the humanity? According to a 2024 report by the National Association of State Budget Offices, Medicaid, which along with the related Children's Health Insurance Program serves nearly 80 million U.S. adults and minors with limited income and resources, makes up more than half of all federal funding for states. And again, I mentioned red states, the most dependent states, the beggar states. They are the ones that get the most money out of these programs. They are the ones that gave Trump his victory. And they are the ones that Trump will screw first. You get my point? You get my point? Again, you're not going to hear this on Fox News. You're not going to hear this on mainstream media expressed like this. Because for all practical purposes, they have started to self-neuter. They have all started to self-neuter. They either lie to you, or they simply stay quiet, or they simply allow the right wing to use our airwaves of their propaganda lying machine. Is that what you want? So Brad called earlier, and he thought he was going to make a comment about, well, look at what Musk has done. And we proved to him without a doubt that, as I've mentioned before, it is true. Musk is a parasite, and he is a further parasite with Doge, as in order for him to fund his companies with government spending, with welfare, he's going to take those away from the people who elected him. Well, elected Trump, but meaning elected Musk. You see my point. Before I go to the phones, I want to point out something else. Because it's not only Medicaid that's in trouble because they need to use those funds to give tax cuts. Remember, Biden has made these programs more secure. Brad earlier called and said he was happy that Mr. Musk used Twitter to lie to him. He didn't say it this way, but this is in effect what happened. Mr. Musk used Twitter to lie to him to make him believe that Trump was the better choice. Well, let's look into that a bit. Under the CFPB, what has happened now is medical debt used to affect your credit score. Well, guess what? Medical debt under Biden has been removed from your credit score. So no longer will you have to be concerned about your medical debt, a debt that you just incurred because you got sick, will somehow prevent your life from moving forward. And who's opposing that now? Musk and his minions says, that won't stand. They want to repeal that when they come into office. Well, you know what else the CFPB did for you? The CFPB reduced what companies could pay in overdraft fees, predatory data brokers, and medical bills, the way they're handled. So when he talks about Biden not doing the things and somehow Musk and Trump coming in to save you, Actually, I'm sorry. They're coming in to destroy you. They don't particularly care about you. It's not about destroying you. It's about just taking it all. And I'm not being hyperbolic here. This is their intent. Biden gave you the CHIPS Act, brought back manufacturing to the country, brought down inflation that started actually with the tariffs imposed by Donald Trump and the supply chain issues created by the corporate structure and the mismanagement of the pandemic. Brought to you by the former President Trump. Biden cleaned it all up, just like Obama had to clean up the mess that was created by Bush with credit default swaps and all of that. Biden had to come in and clean up after Trump. And with the lies and misinformation that were allowed on the Twitter platform and the Zuckerberg platform and all of these, Americans made a mistake again. Yesterday, I was watching this professional, I think he's a stock person, and he said, Americans are interesting people. Whenever they want to clean things up and level the playing field, they elect Democrats. He really meant progressives. And then as soon as progressives get into power and start to equalize and make the playing field level, the wealthy say, we can't make it too level because, we need to be able to have our edge. And they elect, again, those who would do wrong. Folks, a lot of this you're not going to hear on the mainstream media because they can't tell you. They're now bought and paid for by the billionaires. And all you've got now is a hodgepodge of truth tellers. And you're going to have to join that domain of being the truth teller by spreading the word, spreading our blog, spreading our words, spreading. You have to join. You have to be a part of the solution because the corporatocracy will not be. You have to be part of the solution. Everything that I talk about here on this show, you can actually go and verify. And I'll repeat this at every program for all of our newcomers. My goal is simply one thing, the truth, and making sure you're informed and enlightened. I refuse to have my daughter live in, at Christmas, she said, why is it that immigrants have so much hope? Haven't America taught you enough? And my answer is no, because it's not about America teaching us enough. It's about we taking the tenets of what we want America to be and realizing that we can. You remember when Obama said, yes, you can, yes, we can, all that good stuff? It may have been rhetoric for Obama, but it is truth for a lot of us. And we intend to make it so. Come on in, Patrick.
Hey, good morning. I wanted to expand on the differences between red states and blue states. You were talking about the medical bills and the support for or lack of support from federal government for
yes, sir.
Medicaid or Medicare. And we remind people all the time that that's a political decision. Mm-hmm. That they're trying to say they're not going to use public money because they're trying to drive down taxes. Well, in addition to the higher bankruptcy rates versus red states versus blue states, you also have to look at if you're in a red state, you're less likely to graduate high school. If you're in a red state, you're less likely to graduate college. If you're in a red state, you're more likely to file for bankruptcy. If you're in a red state, you're more likely to get divorced. There isn't a support system in these states. It's not that these people are any different. They aren't. they are not given the same opportunities. Those opportunities are taken from them and funneled into the pockets of the rich. It's ridiculous that we're going to defend this. And as far as Musk goes, in his own interviews, he has said things along the lines of he gets clarity and he gets answers while he's playing video games. So this is how we think a smart person makes decisions, is while he's playing his Xbox, he's seeing clarity. I think his quote was, he sees into the matrix and solves issues. I mean, I could play video games all day if I had nothing to do. The fact this guy can find the time to play video games and then says he makes his decisions over it is ridiculous.
That is what a parasite Brian, is all about. Yes.
Yeah, he's sitting around and doing nothing but entertaining themselves. And for Brian, he said that FDR finished his candidacy or his presidency with the 20% unemployment rate. I'll have to explain to Brian, it's very difficult to determine numbers like that in a cash economy. But what is published by several different sources is that the unemployment rate was under 5% at the end of his presidency.
Yeah, Brian called in, and I think Brian gets a lot of the information. The right wing just lies. They don't even worry about whether you're going to fact check them or not. They just lie. And I think Brian have been a victim of that, because it wasn't hard for me when Brian called in yesterday to claim that it was Carter who increased taxes on Social Security, for me to find out the actual law that Reagan passed to tax Social Security. It wasn't at all hard to find, So I mean, when you have that kind of a thing, what we have to do is try to just keep plugging on, Patrick. We just have to plug on, because these people want to believe these things for their own ideological prejudices. And we just have to keep playing with those who are willing to, listen and eventually say, oh my God, I was wrong. I understand what you're saying. Because anybody who votes for exactly what you just spoke there, that's what people in red states do. They vote against your interests. They vote to just work for the master. They're slaves. That's as kind as I can go. When the worst thing to have is an enslaved mind, not anything else. An enslaved mind is worse. Anything else, Patrick? My phones are filling up.
No, have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you, brother. Have a great one. Okay, Johnny, I'm going to have to cut you real quick because we're starting to run out of time. Come on in, brother Johnny.
Okay, Theoretical Wednesday. And why I'm that pessimistic is because that's how I feel right now listening to Breitbart. When we imagine, close your eyes and you imagine New Jersey fictional mob boss Tony Soprano seated at his table in his back office at the Bada Bing, and he's discussing with his colleagues the various challenges of TV screens and computers and airbags for automobiles and stuff like that. They're not discussing the challenges of production. They're discussing the challenges of heisting. And another image to put in your mind is lawn chairs, 3 or 4 or 6 of them sitting around in a circle under an umbrella having lunch and Cokes at a construction site while other people are doing the actual work. Yep. That is what Elon Musk is. So what Elon Musk accomplished was turning Twitter into a sewer.
Absolutely. Thank you, my brother. Harry, come on in. We got to limit you to about a minute, my brother. Talk to me.
Right. Well, people like Bard and Brian and Jeff, hopefully you will understand what Egberto is trying to tell you. You people voted for Trump, and these people like Bezos and Musk and Zuckerberg, Egberto's absolutely right. They're parasitic, they're bloodsuckers, and they're doing robbing in reverse. Rob from the poor, give the rich. They want those people in Appalachia to die off. They want to do what Sarah Huckabee Sanders, Tom Hartman mentioned this, how she destroyed a lot of people's Medicaid in Arkansas. That is what these people are about. So you better wake up. You better listen to what Egberto is saying, and Arnie Arneson, and Amy Goodman, all these people that provide the truth, because they're telling you the truth, and because these oligarch parasitic people, they don't care about the middle class and the poor class.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you, Harry. Thank you so kindly. All right. Welcome to Politics and Right. Eric Hayes, Alice Iron Dreams, Billy Allison Irwin. Thank you for being here, friends. Come on in, Brian.
Yeah, good morning. First off, I never said that Carter passed the tax on Social Security.
I have the tape. You did say it, and I actually made it. I made it a tape yesterday. You do have it.
Don't stop me again.
Okay, wait. No, first of all, you never call this show and tell me what to do again, or otherwise you'll never come on again. And what I do is I correct you as soon as anybody tells a lie, I correct it immediately. I don't wait for it to go on. Continue.
I never said that Reagan did not. It was Carter that initiated it. That's what I said. Who had a higher unemployment rate during the 8-year term? Obama or Bush? Who had?
I am not going to answer silly questions. Again, like I said, the answer is simple. I gave you the numbers yesterday. Hold on. I gave you the numbers. Listen, I gave you the numbers yesterday. It's an absolute certainty, without doubt, that Democratic presidents have outperformed Republican presidents. End of discussion. Anything else you want, sir?
Okay. FDR, he had a very, very high unemployment rate. World War II took us out of the Great Depression, not his economic policies.
Again, that is a fib by the folks like Laffer, who believes in the Laffer curve, of course, and others. The fact of the matter is Keynesian economics, by definition, and by the way economics work in America, it is absolutely a certainty that if the government increases employment, that is exactly what you get, increased employment. You can't believe the crap coming from conservative economists because it defies logic. Continue.
My numbers are from the Bureau of Labor and Statistics.
And again, sir, you're simply reading it wrong. I got to go to Betty. Thank you very much, Brian. I'm running out of time. Betty, come on in.
Okay, on Bart. He always has those yesterday's leftovers, you know. Anyway, I watched that campaign, of Trump in 2016. He used Twitter. He'd get up at 4 o'clock in the morning and start ragging on people that said something against him. And that's why Musk bought Twitter, is because he got tuned in then. And on Zuckerberg, he helped Trump get in on the last few weeks of the campaign, and so did Russia. They also helped him in 2016. So that's no news of Zuckerberg.
There was a movie made about it. Actually, it is so funny. It is so funny. Billy Allison Irwin says Brian is completely misunderstanding what he's reading. I think he's misunderstanding it by choice, Billy. He's choosing to do that. Anyways, continue, please, my dear Betty.
Yeah, in his rallies, in 2016, he got those rallies so he could rile all those motorcycle riders and all those people there, and they would have horrible, just horrible people there and talking about Hillary. Anyway, I'm here now to stay. I'm not going to put my legs between, and I'm not going to put my
tail. You're not going to put your tail between your legs. Betty, well, look, I am glad. I got another call. I got to take, but thank you so kindly.
I want to say on parasite. I asked my mother-in-law, I said, what would you call a parasite? And she said, Well, I call a real parasite is the king and queen of, England, because they get the money from people and they do nothing else.
Agreed.
Anyway, I love y'all.
Love you too, Betty. Let's go to Bruce. Come on in, Bruce. You only got about 45 seconds, brother.
Well, I'll make it real fast. History does repeat itself. Look up President Hardin. When he got elected, he had a meeting with all the powerful oligarchs and said, my government is now open to the highest bidder. Sounds like the orange one, doesn't it? And Ayn Rand is dancing in her grave. This is just terrible. I'm getting off now. Bye.
But wait, Bruce, real quick. Ayn Rand, the person who raged against Social Security and all social programs, before she died, guess what program saved her? Guess what program she was on? Social Security. Thank you so kindly, Bruce. Let's go and make a quick run to El Estudio with El Señor Van Beven. Jack, the birthday boy.
Yeah. Well, all I got right now is fact-checking Facebook is removed, man. That sounds like it's going to be a really nice First Amendment kind of deal there.
Oh man, let me just tell you more. What I told my 3:00 folks yesterday is that more than ever, you're going to need your trusted sources, and emails are going to come back in vogue because the online media stuff is going to be a cesspool. I'm still going to have to use it, but discerning it correctly. But I am making sure I keep my folks up to date on my mailing list, because I tell you, the crap that's going to be out there is going to be unbearable, and it's going to be hard to discern the truth. People are hard workers. Americans work hard, and to discern the truth is going to be even harder now. But anyway, Jack, we got to start looking about getting out of here. So, folks, please remember the rest of the show is at politicsdoneright.com/newsletter. politicsdoneright.com/newsletter. Remember, we're now streaming on Substack, Instagram, Telegram, just about everywhere. So we get the information out as best that we can. Please, please, please fact check what I tell you. You don't have to just take it at face value. I want to develop the trust. Fact check me, and then we can talk. Anyway, folks, my name is Egberto Willies. This is Politics Done Right, and you know how I end this, baby. I am what? Out! Support for this show, Politics Done Right, comes from politicsdoneright.com, publishers of How to Make America Utopia, Take Away the Economy from Those Who Rigged It. As I See It, Class Warfare, The Only Resort to Right-Wing Doom. It's Worth It, How to Talk to Your Right-Wing Relatives, Friends, and Neighbors, and other books written by Egberto Willies. Welcome to Politics Done Right. I am your host, Egberto Willies. This is a progressive program